I'm ready. Are you ready, Glenda?
I'm so ready and I'm so excited to be here with you.
All right, let's get started. So this is Steve Cohen. I'm so excited to be with Glennda Baker today of Atlanta. Glenda is a superstar broker and a superstar lady and a great friend. And Glenda has her team, the Glennda Baker Associates, with Berkshire Hathaway. So, hey there, how are you?
I'm amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well during these crazy times, right?
Is it insane?
Yeah, it's listen, I feel like we're living in a little bit two different. I mean, your governor is opening up Atlanta, right? On Friday and then a little bit more on Monday.
Right. So the important stuff like nail salons and gyms open on Friday and then restaurants open on Monday.
Wow. And so how does that feel?
You know, it's a mix of emotions because for me as a real estate professional and what I'm telling my sellers is it's like the light at the end of the tunnel.
Hmm.
Like, it's hopeful. You're getting some certainty, and that's good for my clients that are buyers and sellers. So from a real estate perspective and a business perspective, it's a great thing. For me personally, it feels kind of weird because I work with people all over the country, and to see what you're going through, and I have 4 kids in New York. I
Right.
mean, to see what they're going through. I mean, my son is a police officer in Manhattan, so and knowing like the severity of what he's going through it's surreal to be like that forever. The businesses to start opening
So
in Atlanta.
you're right. It's true. I speak to people all over the world, and depending where you are, someone said to me today they're in Texas, and I believe in Texas they've had like less than 500 cases, where in New York City, where are my notes, uh, we've had close to 250,000 cases. And I think Atlanta is like 18,000. It's so
Right.
different. But
Yeah.
you're experiencing through your kids, through your son, who's, you see what we're going through.
Yeah. And it's to me, and again, so from a real estate perspective, it's it's almost like a sigh of relief that the world is going to open
Hmm.
back up. But I guess, and probably if all of my focus was 100% local, I might have a different perspective. But
Right.
because my view of the world, my prism that I see through is, I have you, I have my friends in California, I have friends in Washington State. And so for me to be able to see all of those different perspectives, I mean, one of my best friends is in Boston and they're
Mm.
suffering through the peak right now. So to me, it doesn't seem like it's realistic for us to reopen the city. But
Right.
again, all I care about from a real estate perspective is that my buyers and sellers can buy and sell houses.
Right. So tell me about that. What have you been doing up to this point? Are you able to show? It's a little, obviously your properties are different than ours, where we have more vertical living, and we cannot get into apartments or buildings. Are you still showing? Tell me about your business right now.
So that's a great question. So we are deemed essential in Georgia, number one. And what I've been doing is going through all the preparation stages. So getting the stager out there and the photographer. My stager and photographer are still working, obviously taking the appropriate safety precautions. But I was showing an entertainer this last weekend,
Mhm.
and a penthouse vertical, and the building HOA had shut down access to the building except for residents. So, but I have a $2 million home in a neighborhood community, a golf course community, and I had 6 showings on that property last week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
you're physically going in. Glenda, I'm just going to
yeah.
hold up. So our Instagram, again, I'm blaming East Hampton Wi-Fi. We may have to leave Instagram and go straight to Zoom. Let's just give it a moment. Let's keep talking. And if it
Okay.
comes back on, I'll just make that announcement and then we'll go off of Instagram. Okay.
Okay. You just let me know.
Okay.
So,
So are
but
you
yeah,
actually doing the showings?
yeah. Yeah. So I have to be present for a showing like that.
Right.
It's in Atlanta, $2 million. That's a big listing,
Right.
and the owner is celebrity, notorious, and a celebrity here. So, well, I guess he's actually a celebrity up there too because he coaches for the Jets.
Oh,
So I have to be present. Yes.
got it. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's see. Give me a sec. All right. So in that case, you're keeping your physical distance and you're
Yeah.
showing, but being smart, mask, gloves, all of that, as we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Head to toe, top to bottom, front to back.
Right. Got it. So you and I were speaking the other day, and we were talking about what we're reading, what we're experiencing, talking about life during. We can't predict the future. I sent you that piece. We were just talking about John Sinet's The Future Now, which I highly recommend to everyone. Such a powerful, powerful piece. And really, okay, I'm going to go off Instagram, everyone. Okay. There we go. Really a powerful piece. This is someone who, as a profession, talks to companies and organizations about predicting trends and what the future is. And he was in the middle of writing a book and stopped and said, I can't predict the future. I can only talk about now, and then he put out this, it's like a 40-page manual or book called The Future Now. And his whole point is talking about what we're going through now, how to be the best you can now. And that's the best way to prepare for the future. He talks about, I love this. He talks about you have to mourn your future memories. So we all have ideas and thoughts of what we, what we hope the future will bring, and we'll make up our bank of memories. And he said, you actually have to mourn those because they may and very well look very different.
Oh yeah. And I'll give you a great example. So last year in September, I was at Madison Square Garden to see Billy Joel.
Right.
And anytime that I'm in New York, I always go taking a Knicks game, but I had the opportunity to go to a concert. And you're there, you're with your tribe, you're hugging, you're singing, you're swaying along. Like, will we ever have that same sort of dense exposure to sports and music?
Right.
Like, will that be the future? I thought to myself, like, here I am arm in arm with my buddies, and will we ever have that again? Will we ever? I mean, they're talking about having Major League Baseball and not having any sports.
Yeah.
Baseball, not a problem for me because I think it's absolutely.
I know, but
boring.
I know you're a huge basketball fan, so.
Yeah, but for basketball, exactly. Like, I can't imagine not being able to be, and you're really close. But I had been at a game actually on March 10th, which was the week before they closed down NBA, and I had said to the people that I was with, I said, I got to tell you, they sent out a memo that they're not going to do meet and greet anymore. They don't want the players close to the fans.
Sure.
And so how does that affect our life going forward? Like the closeness, like the physical closeness, because me, I'm a hugger.
Yeah.
I want to hug you. I want to love you.
I said the other day, we're social animals. And the idea, I think it was Dr. Fauci who said, we may not be shaking hands. And that had an effect on me because I'm always, putting my arm on someone or touching, in an affectionate way. And that struck me. I hope and pray that this is the mid period, and then we'll come back to life as we know it. Or life as we know it for the good stuff, but certainly in that future now, he talked about a reset. And there was a piece that I posted maybe 5 weeks ago that really had an impact on me. It was called If, and it just talked about what if this is all for the, this silver lining, essentially looking for that silver lining. What if this is a reset? So both in both places, they were talking about that reset. And I think that's
Yeah.
something we're going through.
But this is the thing. Like, we were in San Diego in January together.
Yes. Yeah.
And remember, we were in that booth, all kind of squeezed together, all snuggled up.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna miss those moments with you. I mean, we were back there cuddled in our little corner like a little couple. But I mean, I as bad as it sounds, is this really a blessing? Because we were on that hamster wheel of life, just running and running and running. And I mean, for me, I feel like that this has given me the opportunity to just take a deep breath, like cook, enjoy dinner with my family, like reach out to my friends, my clients. That you're always running like a maniac. You never have a chance to pick up the phone and call for 5 minutes that your friend that you haven't seen since high school, but that you connect with on Facebook all of the time. I mean, it's been so great for those. I mean, how often have we gotten to talk since
we
this?
speak more now, and you know the difference. It's you're coming with, you know, so much when we're running. There's an agenda, and here it's just authentic reach out, just to connect. You know, talk about cooking. Kirk has made dinner every night. We have sat down as a family 35 nights in a row. We never do that. I mean, we have dinner together, but not during the week, with the kids. It's really, I agree with you. You know,
and it's so quiet. I mean, it's probably quiet in the Hamptons all the time, but like in Atlanta, there's always horns and I mean, like in New York, like there's tons of stuff going on all of the time.
Yeah.
And like, I sit out on my covered porch and there's no planes, there's no traffic. All I hear is the little boys' basketball from across the golf course. And like my own kid in the driveway, like that's all I see the neighbors walking. So I think that it's so important for us, especially when it's so easy to focus on all of the shit show going on around you.
Yes.
That to just really be able to step back and just say, wait a minute, what are the positives I can take away? What is the inspiration I can be today? What can I do today to focus on what is awesome? What came from today? And it's just the moments in time are just so much richer today than they were just 30 days ago.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I spoke to a friend today and he had said, you know, I'm actually enjoying this because I was getting so tired, and now it's like guilt-free. You're allowed to just be and be quiet. I had said earlier that, you know, over the last few years, we've been, you know, my life, we have young kids, we're renovating a home, we're building businesses, we're doing all these things. And I could tell you what all my blessings were. If you said, what are your blessings, and asked me to write them all down, I could write them all down. But what got me was I couldn't experience the joy of all this list of blessings. I think because I was so busy in the moving forward rather than just the being in it.
Right.
So I really hope and pray that this is, like I said, resetting us.
Well, yeah. And you were so busy, like keeping everything together.
Yeah.
Like just like, you know, piling on the plaster, just keeping it all together. You weren't even having the ability to enjoy, you know, like going along, living in the moment. And, you know, I mean, I think that of all the things that for me, that this has brought me is just the moments, just living in the moment. And just loving on people, you know, and I think that's one thing, because I'm sympathetic to people, you know, because some people, this hit them out of nowhere.
Yeah. They
don't have the resources to sustain through however long it's going to take us to get out of this. And so rather than having sympathy, having empathy for those people. And that's one thing is I want to be empathetic to the people who are not able to enjoy this. They're suffering with anxiety. And that was one thing that Johnson and I said that I really loved, that that another friend of mine had kind of hit on was your perspective. Whatever your perspective was when you went into it is so much more heightened
Yes.
now that you're in the middle of it.
He
And it's just like
about
any,
the naive mind
yeah,
or the mature mind. And if you
yeah,
weigh in being sick and feeling you're sick and feeling you're a victim, like anything in life, whatever, it's essentially what color glasses you have on. However you view something, you're going to tend to view it in this environment. Now, people can have breakthroughs. But yes, I hear it. So tell me, what's been, if you had to say one or two or three, besides the little things like hearing the basketball, what moments have been some of your like, oh, that was a great, if you had to sit down at dinner and say the last week, 2 week or 3 weeks, that was a great moment?
ooh, probably in real estate, one of the greatest moments was that my people really needed to sell this house. They had some motivating factors to sell it. And to be able to be the calm in the storm. I mean, when it was really hitting hard, when we didn't know if we were going to be able to close properties,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to hold their hand literally and walk through the process with calm, and to be the clarity that
So you
for me,
got a deal closed during this COVID period.
yeah, so we're able to close here in Atlanta. And so for me, you know, I didn't go to college. I barely got out of high school. And the fact that somebody is depending on me with what is usually their largest single asset,
Mm-hmm.
and that I could help them, I could be the clarity in the storm. I could be the calm in the storm. I think that was the moment that I relished that moment. What is the other moment? Having my son snuggle up to me,
How old's your son?
he's 19, he's 6'3", but having him snuggle up to me, like making TikTok videos with my daughter.
Oh my God. I have to tell you, that was hilarious. That was great. Oh my God, that was so fun.
I'm a savage. But I mean, I
love your daughter, Mom. No, you're not. No.
No, I just want to inspire people to just stop and and focus on whatever is the smallest victory you have. Just what is it? You know, just focus on that. It's so easy when you're wrapped up in all of this to feel like that you're the only one going through it, that you're not going to get out of it. You know, when you're in the midst of the storm, it's difficult to see your way out. And I think for me, if I want to say anything, it's just we're going to get to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And hold on. If you're weak, if you're weak, but if you are not feeling like you can do it by yourself, hold on to somebody else.
Oh yeah.
And let them pull you through it.
Yeah.
I mean, that when I called you, the first time that I called you when we were in the midst of this, I was thinking about, I was thinking about your girls and that you were in the city, and I was thinking, I want to check on him. I want to make sure he's okay. If there's anything I can do for him, I want to be there for you. And so that's the thing for me is I want to be that proverbial hand that pulls you through to the other side. The bright side, the sparkle side.
Yeah, the spark. There you go. Glennda Sparkle. Yeah. No, I think that's beautiful. But you know what? I think you're always like that. But it goes to say who you are going in is who you are. I think you focus on the small, precious moments, the real moments. And I think that's what makes you who you are and why you're so successful.
Well, you know, I found out because for years and years and years, I wanted to be the person that everybody else wanted. And for decades of my life, I spent so much time trying to manipulate and be this person that everybody else would want.
Mm-hmm.
And it was exhausting. It was exhausting.
When you say want, you mean you were trying to be who each individual needed you to be rather than
I mean, I was just,
you were.
Yeah, whatever you liked, that's what I was going to be. Because I wanted you to like me.
Right.
I wanted you to want to be with me. And in my head, the way for you to want to be with me was to be whoever you liked. So whoever you liked, that was the Glennda of the day. And I guess it was about 10 years ago that I said, this is exhausting. Like, I cannot do this anymore. And really, in the last 5 years, I was just like, I'm a little bit different. Maybe I'm a lot a bit different. I need to embrace my own uniqueness,
Yeah.
because I'm not here to be ordinary. That's not my goal. I don't want to be like somebody else. I want to be like me. And I found that when I just embraced who I was, that so many more people actually really liked me. And it was just, and so now, for better or for worse, I do me on a big scale. And I just love, and the people who love me, I just love them extra. And the people who don't, I'm just, okay, that's fine.
So Glennda and I know each other through Tom Ferry, and actually through Andy Tse, who introduced us.
Yes,
right?
yes.
In Silicon Valley. But Tom always talks about, like, are they your people? You know, of course, we want everyone to like us and to do business with everyone and to be friends with everyone. But you know what? You know, there's only so much to go around. And I'm sure similar in my market, there are people I look at, there are brokers, and I think, I can't even, how can anyone do, and I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but why would someone want to work with them? Like, wow. And they're successful. And then I think, you know what, that's what makes the world go around. There are people that want to work with me, and there are people that would never work with me. I'm not just, you know, maybe I don't work for them, but no.
But it's just so much easier. It's just so much easier to surround yourself with the people that love you and to just love on them. You know, they're like online leads. Like,
just so you know, you're getting lots of shout outs here. So.
Oh, good. I can't see anything. But I mean, for me, the people that, you know, that I worked so hard to impress, those are the hit it and quit it buyers. Those are your Zillow leads. I always liken those people to, like, they'll hit it and quit it with anybody.
Yeah,
that is not my goal.
Yep. Quit it. Yep. I love it. I love it. So tell me, all right, so the kids are, your son, how tall?
Okay, so my family is a flowchart.
Yeah.
So, because I've been married more than once, maybe more than twice. So my daughter is 28, and I have a little grandson who's a year old.
I remember when we had breakfast or dinner, and then like 3 days later you went home and the baby was born.
That baby was born when I was on my flight from
That's what it was.
From Elite.
Texting me. Yes, that's what it was. Right.
So, which was great, because that gave the ex-husband and ex-wife and all of those other ancillary people time to get in and say hello. And by the time that I got there, I was there with that baby, and my daughter by myself was amazing. So my daughter's 28. My son Lucas is 19. Yep. And I have stepsons. My stepson that's in New York, in Manhattan, at Manhattan North. He's 25. He graduated #2 from the police academy out of 700 cadets. Last year, he saved a man from jumping off the bridge. So it's insane. And then I have my oldest daughter is in fashion in New York. She's 34, my oldest stepdaughter. And I have another stepdaughter that is in software sales in the financial district in New York. I have another stepdaughter that is an artist in Brooklyn. And then I have another stepson that is in software sales in Miami. So who would have thought that I would have 4 kids in New York?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Right. And connected so many kids in New York City, a southern barbecue.
And it gives me the reason to go up there. And the first time I ever went to New York, do I have time to tell this story?
LA, and then I want to get back to some real estate stuff. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the first time I ever went to New York, ever in my whole life, I used to design and manufacture ladies' clothing. And I showed at the Jacob Javits Center. Mm-hmm. And so I'm, selling
to bring it back to COVID, was our hospital that we converted for beds and as a hospital.
Right. Yeah. Right. So, but I was doing a clothing show up there, selling my line. And this guy is like stalking me. And I'm like, sir, can I help you? He goes, no, I'm just going to stand here and listen to you talk all day long. And so I'm like, okay. And then I go to get lunch, and my lunch was like $23. I'm like, oh no, I'm just paying for myself. She goes, yeah, that's just for you. So it was like the most expensive lunch and the nicest little stalker man I ever saw. Okay, so let's get back to real estate.
Okay, so Okay, so business is still happening. Similar to us, we actually yesterday, we had a big day yesterday. We had 2 Zoom pitches, and yeah, thank God they went really well. And we're going to list these properties, 2 very different properties. We're going to list them. We have to figure out photos and floor plans and all that. That may be a few weeks later, but the whole point, everyone, I think they're thinking now as they're coming out of it, or not coming out of it, but that we've been in it for a month, 5 weeks, that, okay, we got a plan. We may not be there yet, but we have to at least start planning. And the one seller said to me, I just want to have everything ready to go as much as we possibly can, so we can hit the button when it's that time. So I'm finding more that we're getting into last week, this week, more of regular business as usual within our COVID age, working from home, all that. Is that what you're experiencing?
Yeah. So I think that the initial shock of being sheltered in place, the initial shock of all of these cases and all of these deaths, I think that people, okay, all right, this is what we're dealing with. And I think people operate better when they know what they're dealing with, even if they're not certain of the end, as long as they kind of know what the process is.
No question. Yeah, people
okay. Yeah, so I think that initially we were in this chaos of, you didn't know what the process was going to be, you didn't know how long it was going to be, and you didn't know how we were going to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that now that there's a plan in place and we're starting to come out of it, I think that people are, I don't want to say relaxing, but I think that they're getting used to what's going on.
Right.
So they're a lot more willing to pick life back up, because you and I both know life does not stop. People still get married, people still get divorced, people still get relocated, people still lose their job, get hired, have babies. And that is what feeds real estate, is life change, period.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And it's not going to stop.
Everyone needs a home. Yeah, it's funny. Someone likened the first week to camping, and kind of like this adventure. So this will be fun. We'll buy a lot of food and we'll just camp out in our house. That got old quickly. And then we went through this mid period. And now I feel like we're adjusting to in it, but preparing for when we come in.
And think about like all of the time that people have gotten to spend in their home, and either they love it and they want all of their friends to come and live in their same neighborhood.
That's right.
Or they hate it and they have to sell their house. So, I mean, from a real estate perspective, I mean, jackpot. I mean, you've gotten to live in your home more than you've lived in it in the last 10 years, in the last month. So for us, I mean, like, what do you love about your house? What do you want in your next house? Like, in a perfect world, where would you live? Where would you want to be quarantined if this ever happens again, for God's sake?
So in our market, Tim and I, on our one of our last shows, Tim and I were talking about that the formal dining room or a dining room space, which in New York City, people were either making them, they were less formal. Now they could still be less formal, but will a dining room become that much more essential because people are entertaining at home, not going out, at least initially, to big events, big restaurants? Eventually all that will come back. I don't have fear for New York City. It's still New York City. We come out harder and stronger always. It's just a matter of, it's not if, it's when.
Right.
We were talking about how's that going to affect some new trends in home buying.
Right, and home offices. I mean, think about all of the people that will be, I mean, because you and I both know, everybody that's working from home isn't going to start now going back into the office, because your employer is going to have realized, I don't need all of this square footage in commercial space, because you were just as effective from home.
Yeah.
So I think that you're going to see a lot more people that will work from home, and will they have to create that home office space? So again, from a real estate perspective, while this is a pause button, really for us, it's a great opportunity to explore like where you can be of value and where you can bring value.
I think it will also affect some technical, we've all Zoom, we're doing virtual closings, virtual appraisals, which we're still struggling with in some cases, but I think we're going to realize we can cut out some of the paperwork, the time, the all coming together and get this done more efficiently. So there will be pros and adjustments that, that will come from this. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Where are you working at? Is that your home office?
This is my home office.
No matter what.
So I'm a big sports fan.
Yeah.
That's Paul Millsap. He
Yeah.
is now with Denver, and Venus Williams, and that is an LA Galaxy MLS all team signed jersey over there. I've got my whiteboard. Can you see that? That's my whiteboard.
That's great. I love that.
And so, yeah, all of the things that, for me, I love working at home because I have all the things that surround me and remind me. You know, I love Paul Millsap. People are like, why don't you have LeBron? Why don't you have Kobe? Because Paul Millsap is an ordinary guy who's a soldier. And, you know, he had good skill and he had good talent, but by working hard every single day, he was a workhorse. He was a star. And so I always want to remind myself that, you know, I don't have that degree from Harvard. I don't have that kind of education, but because of my work ethic, I've been able to do pretty well in real estate.
Work ethic and a few other things. Yeah.
My charming personality.
Your charming personality. So I'm actually so different. I used to love working at home, but now we have 2 little kids, or 9 and 2, the 2 12. And so we're in the Hamptons. We're not in the city, and I'm in a guest room. This is my at-home quarantine office. So interesting. Okay, so we touched on some of the changes. Tell me what else you're experiencing. Tell me how you're getting through some of what's working for you, your ups, your downs, or how you're combating the ups and downs.
So I'll tell you, I think that the biggest change in my business, I've always been kind of a touchy-feely person in business anyway. Mm-hmm. But now I think the biggest change is that people are really, so like iBuyers and discounters and drop it in the computer. That very low touch is moving out of our market. Mm-hmm. Zillow canceled all of their contracts here if you didn't close by April the 7th. So, and they aren't closing anything until July 1st. So, I mean, I think
these were Zillow. When you say they canceled all their contracts, these were properties that
they were purchasing.
Zillow was purchasing. Yeah. As the buyer. Zillow was the buyer.
Correct.
And they canceled all those contracts. Got it. Yep.
Yeah. Zillow, OfferPad, Open Door, they all canceled all of those contracts. Mm-hmm. And so I think more now than ever, people are going to look for the expert, the true expert. So when you go to the heart doctor, you don't go to the heart doctor at Walmart. You want to go to the best heart doctor.
Right.
And I think that really it's going to, for real estate especially, there are so many half-ass garden club BS real estate agents in our industry. And I think that it
what you truly feel.
Sorry, was I not supposed to say that? But I mean, it's the truth. I mean, and this is the thing, I think people are going to seek out excellence.
Yeah.
And it'll just make, as bad as this sounds, it'll make it so much easier for the people that are excellent. Yeah. For the people that are really like do full service, the people that are invested in their clients' lives, those people are going to shine. It's going to give you the opportunity to be better than ever before with literally no competition, because all of the bullshit real estate agents will be gone.
Yeah.
It's,
I hear you.
Again, jackpot.
We have strong teams. We've done this a long time. We have experience and behind us. And I think you're right. I think as anything, it will weed out those that can't do. And frankly, when you're, I'm sure it's the same with you, when, we've talked about I had a friend who was working with a certain broker, and then they came over to work with you. And when there's another broker on the deal, you want someone who's competent and good. And this is just from our perspective as a broker. And I've said to sellers when we've had 4 offers on something, or whatever it is, I'm making it up, that, I'll say, you know what, if all is even, I'd rather work with that broker. They're going to get it done. They're efficient. They answer calls,
Yeah.
and they get the job done. And if I have my choice, why not work with someone who's experienced, you can trust, and who you like? Like anything, people want to work with people they like and trust. So
Exactly. And the whole know, like, and trust is going to be so much more important now. You're not going to pull a real estate agent off of online. Like, again, that hit it and quit it. You doing business, moving forward in any business, I don't care what business, real estate, insurance, whatever business you're in, doing business with somebody that you know, like, and trust.
Yep.
Because when the going gets tough, I don't want to be dealing with somebody in a cube in Iowa. I want to be dealing with somebody that is going to come to my house and help me and make sure that I get through to the other side. I mean, that's the thing that I think is probably the best thing about this.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree. All right. So you've got an optimistic, as you always are. We'll look different, but we'll make it work, and we'll figure it out. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be different, and it's going to be really important for real estate agents, especially, to be able to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
For them to be able to understand what, because this is a great lesson that nothing is certain in life, and the way that you did it yesterday may not be the way that you do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the ability to learn and grow and adapt is going to be a critical skill, no matter what business you're in, but especially if you're in real estate.
Yeah, no question. And have faith. Faith will get you
Absolutely.
through whatever faith means to you. It's that faith and hope. It's a mental state.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to touch on? Anything we missed?
God, I don't know.
Open.
Let me see here.
We got a few more minutes. What do you want to talk about?
So there was one line that I heard today that I absolutely fell in love with.
Okay.
And it was get out of shock and get into creation.
Get out of shock and get into creation.
Yeah. So we're in shock. Like,
Yeah. Sure.
Holy crap, this happened.
Yep.
And now, okay, you've had your opportunity to be shocked. You've had your opportunity to have your pity party. You've had your opportunity to fall apart. Now start creating the life that you want. You're not busy. You're not doing anything.
That's right.
All you're doing is tending to the little bit of business that you've got. There's never been a better time to create the life that you want. And I heard that this morning, get out of shock and get into creation. And I was like, holy crap, I love that. And now if you're like doing a new website, whatever you're doing, you can negotiate everything now. Nobody has any work to do.
On every level, you don't have the excuse of time. You can negotiate, as you said. People have more time to do this. I have people emailing me asking if they can we do something live together? And people have time, and there's a calmness. So I'll tell you, we have a 9 a.m. Our team has a morning meeting every day during the week. We consistently, we do that now. We do a Zoom call, and every day there's 5 of us. So someone is assigned a day. They have to bring something inspirational. So I guess about 2-3 weeks ago, Tim on our team, Tim Malone, came and said, okay, we're in this for, let's say, another 30 days at least. It's more. Let's find something we want to do and it can be anything. What can we come out of this? I'm going to work out every day. I'm going to go for a run. So a few days ago, this wasn't on my initial list. My initial list was to play baseball outside with my daughter 3 times a week, which we've done, and to start meditating every day consistently, which I've done. I'm already working out, but I've also been eating too much. So a few days ago, I committed to going back to this, diet, no carbs, no sugar, no dairy, which I just feel great when I do it and I'm healthy. And I thought, well, wait a minute. It's the best time to do it because I don't have cocktails cocktail parties to go to, a million lunches and dinners. It's not the right time, or a holiday's coming up. But then I thought, but wait a minute, I'm in home, and one of my greatest activities at home is eating. So you can go any way with this, but I'm choosing to go with, let's make it easy because you're home. You have no excuse. So anyway, I'm in it. But right, it's mindset. It all comes back to that mindset and how you want to view it. So I love it.
Well, and you know, this is like, I never have time to like read. Like, I just never have time to read. And do not tell anybody. This is like that my guilty pleasure is like romance novels. Like,
It was
like
what you're reading. Okay. Yeah.
Like Harlequin romance, but they're not Harlequin romance anymore, but used to back in the day they were.
Yeah.
And so like, literally, like, this is my guilty pleasure. And so at night, instead of watching television, I'm listening to my book. I mean, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're so in love. And he kisses her like it's his soul. It's like, I'm like, this is so great. Like, how can you not be, and they all have a happy ending. I mean, it's so awesome. So somebody said, what's your favorite romance? So there's this girl, Corinne Michaels.
What's your favorite?
There's this girl, she's an author. Her name's Corinne Michaels. So these are somewhere between Hallmark with a little shade of 50. So not too salacious,
right,
but you know, a little bit spicier than Hallmark. But what I love about it is it's always a happy ending. And I think honestly, like that is like my theme. Like, I want to identify what the problem is I can help you with. I want to help you get through the drama. And in the end, I want the happy ending. In every single facet of my life, I am looking for the happy ending and how I can bring that to other people.
I love that. That's beautiful. That's a great.
And it's all for my salacious romance novels.
Exactly. See, it doesn't matter how or where. There's the silver lining. You're getting that from some corny romance novel, and we'll come out stronger out of what in our own lives could be one of the worst, possibly one of the worst experiences. All right. Yeah. So this has been amazing. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you so much. And I am so blessed to call you my friend.
Likewise.
And I want you to know that the moment that I met you changed my life, because you took me to dinner. You may not remember this.
Remember.
And we talked about loads and loads of personal stuff.
Yep. Immediately.
And I immediately, there was that great connection. And I just want to say that you have touched my heart, and I think the world of you. So
thank you. Right back at you. All right. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm so sorry about Instagram. Again, I'm blaming East Hampton Wi-Fi. Stay tuned for our next Stephen Cohen Team Presents this Friday, the 24th. His guest will be TV personality and host Sarah Haynes, who's part of Strahan, Sarah, and Kiki. And I know that'll be a great show. And Glennda, thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
You're welcome.
Stay healthy and safe. Bye.
Bye.